We had over 1,100 dogs in Alaska for our mail routes there. We had the mail routes up there for a long time. We used over 1,100 dogs before the planes came in, and do you know every one of our men came to the point where they never used a whip. Those dogs were just as trackable as could be, just as long as the men did not disturb or upset them. I made 9 trips with dogs over that trail, a distance of 1,800 miles. Twice I never changed a dog, and still those dogs came through in very wonderful shape. Everybody asked how I did it. I just let the dogs alone, urged them on, told them that they were all right, going ahead, doing fine, and so on. The other men began doing that, and it made a great difference. If you do not fear an animal or mistreat it, but praise it and encourage it, it will respond wonderfully. The moment we use a negative word, we are taking energy from our body to keep it going. We hypnotize ourselves into believing that it is a fact, and that hypnotic influence is what carries us right on to repeat it again and again. Now, if we no longer permit ourselves to become hypnotized by these negative thoughts and refuse ever to repeat them again or even to think them, they disappear from our worlds completely. If we would let go of old age, lack of eyesight, and imperfections in the body, these negative conditions would not register in the physical form. Our body is being renewed all the time, and that is really the resurrection. That resurrection takes place every 9 months throughout all of humanity. We put the imprint upon those body cells ourselves by our own thoughts, our own feelings, our own speech. We are our own betrayers. We betray the Christ with the simple word can't every time we use the word. Every time we use a negative word, we betray the Christ within ourselves. Let us, therefore, extol the Christ, bless the body for its service, give praise and thanks for our countless blessings, and be the living manifestation of the law every moment. Now here's another question and answer section. Question: how do the Hindus look upon Jesus as compared with Buddha? Answer: they say that Buddha was the way to enlightenment, but that the Christ is enlightenment. Question: why does it seem so different to hold the mind to an ideal? Why does it seem so difficult to hold the mind to an ideal? Answer: we have not the definite training with which those in the East have had. There even the children have it. They are shown that when one ideal is projected, they are to keep that ideal until they have its full accomplishment. The training in the Western world is somewhat different. We are allowed to let every thought come running through, scattering our forces. If you have an ideal and fully believe in it, keep it entirely to yourself, not mentioning it to another, until it is completely consolidated into form. Always keep the mind clear for that one thing which you must accomplish, not that which you will. That keeps the mind clear. The moment we allow another thought to come in, we become dual-minded. By expressing energy toward that one ideal, we become single-minded. Nor would we get into a rut or become one-track-minded, for we would not need to dwell on that ideal for more than an instant if we directed every force toward it and did not scatter our forces. From then on, we simply give thanks that it is accomplished and that it is here and now. Question: are we to understand that you personally saw and even shook hands with Jesus? Answer: yes, and with many so-called masters. Those people do not claim to be different from you or me. Even the coolies in India recognize him as Jesus of Nazareth. There is nothing mysterious about it. The pictures show him as an ordinary man with a great light about him. There is nothing vague about any of these people. There is a definite determination about them. They are vivid characters. Question: how is it that the ordinary coolie in India sees Jesus? Answer: the coolie has accepted it and lives with it, whereas we live in a condition in which we do not accept or believe that he exists. Now, I have no psychic sight whatever. If we deal wholly in principle, we cannot be misguided. Intuition is a factor, and we must make it knowing. Question: why has Jesus not appeared often in America? Answer: he does not localize himself, and undoubtedly works here as much as in India. Question: did Jesus suffer physically on the cross? Answer: no. One so highly illumined could not suffer physically. If he had not wished to go through that experience, he could have sent back the energy, and it would have destroyed the people about to crucify him. He showed the way. Question: did Jesus exist for a number of years on this earth after the crucifixion? Answer: we know of no withdrawal from the body on his part. He lives today in that very body. That body is observable by anyone who comes in contact with it. Question: do you mean that an individual known as Jesus of Nazareth has appeared in this country? Answer: yes, naturally. If we do not call him by that name, he will not be here to us. Question: is it through some special consideration that you are able to give out the teachings of the masters? Answers: we are not privileged in any way over you yourself. When asked if there are masters in the United States, they reply that there are over 150 million masters here. Question: would Jesus appear here if we needed him? Answer: he is always where he is needed. When he said, "Lo, I am with you always," he meant just that. Question: does Jesus mean the principle of life? Answer: it means God principle flowing through the individual. Next chapter, and it's called Mastery Over Death. Dead yogi still lives, read the headlines in Los Angeles papers in reporting the passing of Paramahansa Yogananda, founder of the Self-Realization Fellowship in Los Angeles, California. Mortuary technicians today revealed the amazing story of Paramahansa Yogananda as his body lay in state at Self-Realization headquarters here. They say his body is still not technically dead, 20 days after his death. The mortuary director of the cemetery declared that the body of Yogananda, who died during a speech at the Blithmore Hotel, was under daily observation by his staff from March the 7th to March the 27th, when the bronze casket was sealed. The absence of any visual signs of decay in the dead body of Paramahansa Yogananda offers the most extraordinary case in our experience, said the mortuary director in a notarized letter to Self-Realization Fellowship. Now, in reference to Yogananda's body, that was not a miracle. We have seen bodies that have been lying in suspended animation, it has been claimed, for 600 years. My great-great-grandfather observed such a body a long time ago. That is just north of the line between Kashmir and the Pakistan of today, and it has been there ever since. That body, of course, was laid down as a sign of the displeasure aroused in India, first by the Mohammedan invasion, then child marriage, and also the deep caste system that invaded India. It has lain there ever since. It is about 14 years since I last saw the body. Also, I was in the vicinity during the First World War. At that time, there were about 200 British soldiers trapped in the mountains north of this place, and they asked for safe transportation through this country. And as they came out into India again, they observed this body. The captain had spent a great many years in India and had a great respect for the Hindu people, and they also respected him. He explained to his soldiers that if they wished to observe this body, the company would halt here to see it, but they must give their word of honor that they would not attempt to touch the body, thus conforming to the wish of the people in that community. So many people had gone to view that body that the flagstones that lie around the canopy where this body is laying are worn through.